All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the Snowbeast Performance channel. Today we're gonna go through a variation of jump progressions. A lot of athletes are coming in and they wanna get ready for their winter season, for snowboarding, for skiing, and they wanna work on their jumping. It's a fun way to get speed and create power in our activity, and we can go through a transition of progressions that will help you get better at landing your jumps so you're better at taking bigger jumps. So we're gonna have Ashley start with, we really wanna work on the jump landing part first. So we're gonna have her start with snap down. So we've gone through these before. She's gonna be high up on her toes, and as she throws her arms down quickly to the ground, that's just gonna accelerate her, and she's gonna have that little pop with her feet where she's gonna catch herself and really stick in the landing is what we're looking at. Right, so as she does this, she does it as increasing intensity. So when we start, maybe like 50%, but then work it up to 75 or 90, or as fast and as heavy as you can do them. Our progression there is we'll go down to single leg snap down. So same setup, high on the toes, hands up, and landing on a single leg. What we're looking at is that control over that knee. And you can see how when she has that acceleration because of her hands coming down and her weight coming down, right, it's challenging on that knee. So imagine how when she's transitioning on her ski and she's switching over to the opposite leg, she has to have that stability, or if she's coming off of a jump, right? We can train each leg individually, and it also helps us to spot, is there an imbalance? Is one side stronger or more coordinated than the other side? Again, we can do that same 50% to 75% to 90% variation. So those are our snap down exercises, working on that landing and getting your nervous system ready to know where does it have to go to stabilize when you're coming off of that jump. The next thing we're gonna do is a depth drop. We're gonna have her up on top of a box, and the smaller you start, the better, right? To get it good, and then you get taller as you feel better with this. So she's just gonna step off and land and hold her landing position. And we'll just alternate which foot she steps off with first. Right, and really sticking that landing, let's actually hold it for like maybe a 2 or 3 second hold, a little bit longer. Right, and we wanna see, are those knees stable, those ankles steady? Does she absorb that impact? Does this bother her back or her hips or anything else? And as she progresses this, we get her to a taller step. So as we just, we'll flip it up to the other side. And the taller the step is, the more acceleration she has towards the ground, right? The higher the drop, the faster she's gonna move. So she has to learn to have a bigger landing going off of a bigger step. We can obviously continue to progress this, and you can get pretty high with these things if you're doing it well, but we're just working on controlling and make sure you stick that landing. Your nervous system knows exactly where it wants to go every time you come off of a jump. So our last thing that we'll do is we just want to create some elastic energy in her legs. So we're doing pogo hops. So we'll just start with small pogo hops, right? Just barely getting off the ground. These shouldn't be very difficult, certainly shouldn't be painful. And we'll use a high number of these, 20, 30, 40, even 50. After we get warmed up with those, we'll go into a medium-sized pogo hop, right? So a little bit higher off the ground, right? And are we tolerating that absorption of energy well? And we would normally be keeping track of our numbers so we can measure that. And then we'll go into big pogo hops, nice and high. And we're seeing, does she have that elastic energy? Does she absorb the impact? And then she can recoil that. You can relax on those. So those are our 3 progressions that we like to use when we're working on jump training, jump landing training, and getting that elastic energy. So we first go through our snap downs where we're trying to accelerate and stick into your landing and transition that to single leg snap downs. We do our depth drops where we're stepping off of increasingly taller heights to work on that deceleration that's coming from gravity. And then we work on our pogo hops to make sure that the calves, the ankles, the plantar fascia is all soft and bouncy and springy and gonna be comfortable throughout the day of skiing or riding. So that's our stuff that we're working on for those. We're gonna put that into our program of people that are getting to their preseason stuff. We always love doing these things. It's a lot of fun. We get our heart rates up, we get a sweat going, we challenge ourselves and our balance system, and we'll come back with some more balance instructions in a little bit.